Hey you guys, this is Rico. I'm back again on your computer screens. I mean, you're looking at me, right? Hope you guys are doing fantastic. Like this video if you want to. Subscribe if you want to. You will get a lot of content like this from different ranges of East Asian galore. Do Japanese characters from anime and manga actually look Japanese enough? This is the million-dollar question. I remember seeing some people from the European persuasion. Japanese characters don't even look Japanese, so why should it matter about the live action, how they actually look? Because they actually look more like this one race anyway. Slow your roll. Sit down. Tone down the entitlement, please. What I really think is the culprit here is imagination. Now, I will say that I do believe that all throughout East Asia, there's a lot of admiration for foreign features, especially from the European persuasion. As far as the eye shape, the eye color, the hair color, and they take this admiration and they put it into their characters. I think it's also color scheme of how they want these characters to stand out and pop, and anime and manga is not real. It's full of fantasy. And so they take all of these different traits and they put them into characters, and you'll see that there are characters that have bigger faces and maybe leaner faces, different color eyes, some hair color that is beyond reality as far as like blue hair and red hair, and it works in this anime or manga world because it defines reality. There are also characters that are meant to be foreign, and you'll see that the stories are set outside of Japan, which I thought was always kind of funny because you get these characters that are supposed to be foreign, but they act so Japanese. You'll see them speaking Japanese, and they're not supposed to actually be associated with the Japanese culture at all. You'll see them like bow to each other, and I'm like, what are you doing? This is supposed to be a man from London. However, that's what they do. They try to still have this essence of Japanese-esque customs and ways of thinking in the character. It also blurs over into the live action aspect, and they have this whole battle with if they want the character to actually have these different hair colors, or if they want the characters to just be completely Japanese. And I believe that this is their right. But I don't believe that they specifically on purpose try to make these characters look foreign. You'll have characters that look black, that are supposed to be specifically black. You have characters that are also of a darker skin complexion that are still Japanese. And this is actually a thing. There are Japanese people that are darker than I am, and they're full-blooded Japanese. There are Japanese people that are who are half black and half Japanese, and Japanese forms of manga as well as anime have started showing these different type of characters and families slowly, which I think is very interesting. I also think that there are characters that I looked at over the years, like Mr. Popo, that at the time I didn't see as very problematic, but now that I look back now, it's kind of like, ooh, oh, like, ooh, it's like, why you gotta draw him like that with the big lips, and he's real dark, and this is kind of problematic. This is taking my heart back to those times where people would make fun of black people through art, and it's just like, okay, get away from me. No, ooh, oh no, like this is doing something to my spirit. Also, Brock from Pokemon, that was also another very problematic character. Not so much from the black side, but just the way they drew his face. I thought like it was kind of problematic looking back at it now. Even though growing up I thought that Brock was black, but looking at it now, Brock clearly was not black, but just a dark-skinned Japanese dude. But you see a lot of people who were into Pokemon, who probably didn't even know that Pokemon was associated with Japan, that probably saw Brock as black, which is just how it is. There are a lot of people that cosplay as him, and then there's a lot of black people that cosplay as Brock. But these different characters, they're all just there to add this certain spice to these stories, and to show that these characters can be defined not only by their personalities but how they look. And I'm sure that anime would be very boring and one-dimensional if they just had characters that just all had black hair color and all the same eye color, and they weren't allowed to just have this whole different color scheme in there. And I love it. And to me, I used to think like, oh yeah, they do look really European, but really thinking of it now and seeing how the creators create these characters and they take to the time to shade all the different colors in and have these colors to kind of blur into the backgrounds of the characters that they're drawing. I think that it's all just very beautiful and nice to see. But overall, it's Japan. and it's Japanese trumps all, and the creators are Japanese. So I always assume, until I am been told otherwise, that all the characters are Japanese no matter what. Sometimes the backstories, they can be half, and you'll see that in the storyline, and they add that into there too. They'll talk about how that affects their interaction with people in Japan. But then, you know, thinking about it too, we as Americans, we watch anime in English, and it's supposed to be set in Japan, but they're speaking English. So, you know, it's all kind of wacky, saying like Japanese people are watching like Attack on Titan, and all of them mostly are supposed to be non-Japanese, but they're speaking Japanese and acting in a Japanese manner and thinking in a Japanese manner. And we don't really process this and how wacky it actually is, but it works some type of way, and it brings everybody together. However, for me personally, I like seeing anime and manga done by Japanese people because I feel like this is their culture, and that's mostly when I watch anime or when I read manga, I look for an experience into Japan. And that's really just the bottom line of the whole thing. So you guys, this is something to think about. How do you feel about this topic? Do you think that they look more European and that's what they meant for it to be, and that they really just love foreigners so much and they're trying to get rid of their Japanese roots? Or do you think that it's just art and imagination like I think? Put your thoughts below. Follow my social media, mostly my Instagram. Also have a blog on East Asian pop culture. The link is in the description box below. And remember, be real, stay real, live in the real. And I will be back.